the way that the NBA has changed and the way that the players now have power and the coaches in front office have to sort of cater to them and adjust to this new world. Pelicans head coach Alvin Gentry was quoted, and here's what he had to say. He told MacMullan, there's too much movement, too much unexpected movement. You can't plan beyond next year. Ryan, so when once franchises would plan 4 or 5 years ahead, now Gentry's saying they can just plan for one season at a time. What do you think about that?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, look at the way that player movement happens. If you put yourself in an attractive situation, salary cap-wise, trade-wise, and you get young assets, you never know what star may become randomly available. Toronto Raptors, Kawhi Leonard, who would have saw that coming? Look at the way the NBA Finals shape up. Injuries. Kevin Durant gets injured. Klay Thompson gets injured. The entire NBA opens up. And it changes the mindset of a lot of these stars that was before, well, it's an all-or-nothing mentality. So either I've got to go and get 3 or 4 or 5 all-stars or former all-stars on the same team just to compete with the Warriors, or now I just need me and my buddy and a good coach and a good squad and good team. Look at the Los Angeles Clippers, and you got a chance to go for an NBA championship. So the dynamic of the NBA has absolutely changed. And knowing that players are in control of their own futures and they fully understand it opens things up. So if I'm a front office, if I'm going to give advice to Alvin Gentry or whoever, be the best coach in front office and set the table, and then you will be rewarded. And you never know what may come across your path.
It's interesting. Like, I think a team that really embodies what Gentry is talking about are the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, through this offseason, they're like, you know what? We're going to run it back. We're going to keep our core. We're not going to make too many moves. We believe in this team that we have. And then over the course of, 4 or 5 days, you trade Paul George, you trade Russell Westbrook, and now you're looking at your team and you've got Steven Adams and 20 first-round picks in the next 2 years. It's just interesting. Like, you really can't plan that far beyond in today's day and age. Like, you can plan for when a contract ends or a free agent comes up like Kevin Durant. But the Paul Georges, like, you just can't plan for him coming into your office with 3 years left in his deal saying, I want to trade and I want to be traded to the Clippers specifically. It's really interesting. Another thing that was interesting from this speech, which is great, by the way, is just the role of coaches. You know, you think about these superstar players that get these long contracts, $180 million, $160 million, that the franchise is so invested in these superstar players that if the superstar player walks into the GM or the owner's office and says, I don't like this coach, get him out of here, they're kind of forced to deal with that. Like, what do you think about sort of the job security of coaches in a player-run league?
Look, there is no job security of coaches. And obviously, NBA head coach may be the worst position in basketball as far as the longevity. Now, the paycheck is good. All right, don't get me wrong there. The paycheck is good. But think about it. You can have a successful season. You can build something from the ground up and be fired. Mark Jackson, Kevin McHale. I mean, Doc Rivers goes from the outhouse to the penthouse. Listen, they were chanting, fire Doc in Boston. The big three come along. They win a championship. They compete for a couple championships, and Doc can do no wrong. So the coaches understand it's a players' league. So that's why guys like Doc Rivers, Stan Van Gundy, Thibodeau, they said, man, we want to be coach and president. So at least when you fire me, I got fired with my own guys and my own players.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.